Just breathe in with me. You smell that? Trial season is in the air.
I smell it.
Competitive spirits. It's the greatest part of the season. We're ready to go.
We're back. Did you miss us? I'm gonna say because you clicked on this video that you did, and we love it. Okay, I'm Perdita. He is Aaron Brown, and this, of course, is episode 11 of Trackside. AB, we have like a really massive championship preview episode for the people. How locked in are you?
I'm very locked in. This is my favorite part of the year. All the stuff before was nice. It was a good lead in to the season to gotta get us to this point. But we know everything that matters in every season, each year when there's a championship, is trials, because it's the gatekeeping. It's the way to get into the meet. So, you know, Chris Brown likes to say, how can you hate from outside the club? You can't even get in.
Oh.
Nobody can really hate unless you're in the championship. So if you don't make that team, we don't want to hear from you. This is what matters the most. So I'm excited. This is where we have stakes in the season, where everyone has to come with it. Ready or not, here we come. It's trials time. Unless you have a bye, you better be ready to go, or that train is leaving.
It is go time is basically what you're saying. Okay, we have tons of things to talk about. Before we do, though, I gotta touch on this, okay? So Michael Johnson, who I feel has been ducking all these rumors and all these questions about Grand Slam track running out of money, has finally given an interview.
Yeah, we want to be really clear. We've had a very difficult situation this year financially. We had an investor that wasn't able to honor their complete commitment to the league. That was a huge blow to us, caused a major, cash flow issue for us, put us in a difficult position, put our athletes in a difficult position. And but we're very confident that we'll pull ourselves out of it.
But Aaron Brown, how do you feel about him finally addressing the rumors, which are not rumors because we told you?
Well, tell me how you really feel, P. I get the sense of where you're going with this. But you know me, I'm on the side. I'm the pro business, innovation track guy. So I'm gonna always put my optimistic spin on it. But it is nice for him to finally come out and say something to address what we've all kind of surmised on our own. Sometimes the sways in the economy can have an effect on what you once thought was a ironclad
It feels like an excuse,
business plan.
Aaron Brown. What do you mean?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, like when your structure isn't founded in cement and it's still a little finicky, even a little gust of the wind could blow you over and you could have some hiccups.
Did he come out too hot? Did he come out a little too fast, do it a little too much?
I think so. The way that he presented it was that everything was secured, everything was in place, and we were good. And I heard from the grapevine that he had enough funding to go for 3 years. And whether or not that one sponsor that pulled out was that source that was kind of backing everything and it was a major sponsor, I mean, I gotta say that I was a little misled by his exuberance and his confidence, and maybe this just like a manifestation type of thing where you come out and you present a strong face, you make it seem like everything is great.
He needs to manifest that
you
cash.
figure it out on the backside.
Manifest the checks, manifest the wires and the SWIFT codes and the bank codes and the drafts, all that.
Listen. I have this tone right now because I'm still holding out hope. I still have some optimism, but I'm one of those creditors in line. I'm owed $22,000. So if I don't get that, I'm not going to be, it might change my tune a little bit, but I'm still holding out hope. I'm still pro Grand Slam, and I'm hoping that I can pull it through.
All right, I like that. And we'll leave Michael Johnson alone. We'll leave it alone. I like what you said. He did say, though, that he's not finished. He's not stopping. They're going to come back stronger next year. They are going to pay the people what he owes them.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's going to be fun. Come on, check. But all
We're
that
cheering
interest,
for you, Mikey. Let's go.
All that compounding interest, though, like that's what I'd be vexed about. All right, let's do it. Let's get this national championship / world championship trials conversation. It's my list. Conversation started. It's going down in Canada, in Ottawa. So, AB, I have to admit, when I used to race, I used to watch the American trials with popcorn because it was so intense. It was like going to battle. And I felt bad for my training partners who were American because you're like, wow, one of you or two of you or three of you are going to cancel each other out. And you will literally leave someone home who could medal. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm in Edmonton, I'm in Kingston, I'm in Windsor, just like, you know what I mean? Like it's less intense. Yeah. For you, I want to know how you feel about it. Like, how do you approach this, this meet, the Canadian version?
Hey, well, first off, it's trial season, so let's just do an exercise real quick. Just breathe in with me. You smell that? Trial season is in the air.
Yes. I smell it. Smells good.
Competitive spirits. It's the greatest part of the season. We're ready to go.
Let's do
Now,
it.
in terms of the American trials, I hear what you're saying 1,000%, probably even more so because I train with all Americans.
Yep.
And for years, we've had some of the top talent. And it's like, damn, some of these guys, as fast as they
home.
are, they could run 9.9, 9.8, but they don't get it done on the right day. They are staying home. But my approach to trials, as a 12-time Canadian champion, no subtle flex.
You better.
Just throwing that out there.
I mean,
Yeah. I've won once or twice or 12 times. But I love trials time. And I got 3 reasons for you. I got more, but I'll give you 3.
Let's hear
Okay.
it.
The first one is brotherly competition. Okay. We love each other on the relay team. That's why we get along so well and do
Yep.
so well as a unit, because we get together and we actually generally have a relationship where we like each other and like being around each other and hang out. But when we're on the line at trials, it's war. Who do you want to beat more than your little or big brother, right? So we all want to be the fastest man in Canada. We all want to vie for that top spot, and it's so fun when we all come together, compete
Yes.
to the highest level, and then go back to loving each other right after.
That's right.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is being in front of the Canadian crowd. I train in the States. I compete in Europe. I compete in Asia. I compete in Africa. But very seldomly do I get an opportunity to compete in front of Canadians. And that's where it all started for me. So it's like a full circle moment, going back to some of the tracks that I grew up running on. And number 3, money. I mean, who doesn't love money, I would say money is a great motivator. And, some people have in their contracts winning national titles, they get a little bonus. And that's always nice and something to look forward to. So it's still championship season for us. And I bring that same approach. I'm training in the trenches with the guys and gals that are going up to compete for those top American spots. And then I take that same energy and apply it to the Canadian trials.
That's what's up. Of all those 3 things, the money is nice. Okay, the money is nice.
Yeah.
But I will
Yeah.
say it's the second one. It's the family, the friends, the people that don't usually get to see you wherever you are. They fly out or they drive out, and there's just something special about competing on home soil that is so special. You're doing the 1 and you're doing the 2. I feel like your Tim Hortons order would be a double because you do this every single year. That's why you have 12. Okay, you're always like double dipping. How do you approach each of those races, the 1 and the 2? They are very different.
Yeah, they are. The 100 is always the main focus, and the reason is because it goes first, and I'd say I'm more comfortable running the 2. I've run it more as a pro, and I've been kind of typecasted as a 200 guy, so I get more opportunities to run in the 2 and kind of refine that race pattern, and I just feel that's more natural for me as a taller sprinter. The 100, I know I have to nail it and get it right, get my race pattern down, and sometimes I'm hot and cold in terms of how I have my rhythm set up. And, when I'm on, that's when I bring it to nationals. And I usually come and run a season's best or tie my PR at the national championships. But yeah, I always approach 100-meter first. It's the first one on board, set the tone, come out, show that I'm on a different wave. Like whatever happened in the past in the season doesn't matter. Right now, I'm showing up and I'm ready. I put in this work, like I said. I'm galvanized from training with the Americans, and I know how hard they've been training. My coach, he's on 10,000 all for that cycle where we're trying to put in that work. And I bring that same focus and energy into the 100. I know if I get that one done, it's usually a slam dunk for me to get that 2 as well. Sometimes someone might mess it up and take that win, but for the most part, if I get the 100 done, I feel pretty confident going into the 2.
Do you want to know my prediction for this? Because I'll predict for this that you are going to be on this team naturally, and you're going to bring home another 13th or 14th or both Canadian championship. That's my prediction. Sincerely, honestly. All right.
May the best man win.
That's it.
I wanna see you bring the heat.
Joining us now to break down the trials even more, we got a legend in our midst. He was a Canadian Olympic sprinter himself. He's a titan in the track and field media space. A man who ran pretty fast back in his day and now spends his time losing debates to me online, on YouTube or on Instagram. It is what it is. But as you would say on your own channel, big up the one named Anson, the man in the hoodie, Henry. Anson, welcome to Trackside.
Respect for that. I was about to say, that was the nicest you've ever been to me.
Oh.
But then
I couldn't be too nice. I couldn't
you
be
had
too
to
nice.
throw in other foolishness afterwards,
Yeah.
man.
Anyways.
No hoodie today. I'm on CBC. Yo, no hoodie.
Yeah, I know. You came professional. You came
You know
professional.
what
We
I'm
had to
saying?
clean it
That's what
up
it's gotta be.
for CBC.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of trials, we're in the midst of another trial season, which is always my favorite time of the season because that's when things get real. What's your favorite thing about trials?
Uh, you know what? I think I just liked seeing everybody again. By the way, hello, Perdita. It's good to see you.
Hi. You guys
Perdita.
had your little
We came up
bromance
together.
thing.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. Yeah, we
No,
did.
we came up,
did.
Perdita, Pickering. We go way back. We had all our
Dunbarton
teams
High School,
together,
take
we were
licks. If you know, you know.
chilling, playing cards on the trips and
Yes.
stuff. We used to have some fun on our
Yep.
trips. So
Sudbury,
nationals,
1998.
yes. Oh, you really take it way back.
Apologies.
That was awesome. Sorry, Aaron. Let me get back to your question.
You're good.
So,
You're good.
I mean, that kind of speaks to what was good about nationals. You get to see some people again. So people like, on the team, we usually train in different places, but when you come to nationals, you get to come together and catch up. And when we were running, I'll be honest, it wasn't that hot in the 100. I knew I was going to be on the team no matter what. And Perdita was kind of in a similar situation. She knew she was going. So we're already talking about the championships. We're already looking beyond nationals. So it was more, in that way, it was kind of a little less stressful. But I will say that me personally, I didn't want to lose to other Canadians. I actually felt less nervous as far as the races when I went to championships because I didn't want to lose to other Canadians. I wanted to be the Canadian and then look at the rest of the world. So from a stress standpoint, it was a little bit more difficult there. But from a social standpoint, coming together and everything, I used to love seeing everybody and just vibing and just getting our focus on the latter part of the season.
Yeah, there's something really special about that. Okay, so we're both Pickering townies. We're from the same hometown. I call you San because you used to call me Dita, but I'm going to call you San on this show. San.
Right, respect.
So I got anyway. So San, let me ask you this. Pretend Aaron, we love you, but just pretend Aaron's not, like he's not in the box. He's gone.
No, Aaron's here. No, he's definitely here.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you something, and I just want you to just try and...
He'll be real regardless. It's all
Oh, he
good.
will?
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are the 100s and the 200s and the men's sprints going to go? How do you see it? What do you expect?
Okay. All right, Jerome's hot right now. And I mean, there's something about when the clock says 9 that does something to a sprinter. I ran legal 10-1, windy 10-0. Even if I ran a windy 9, just with the 9 next to my name, I know it would have changed my psyche. That's what happens.
Nice.
It's a big deal. So Jerome did it legit now. And even when I talk to him, he just sounds different. He looks different. His demeanor's different. And I think that he knows coming to nationals, the 100, he's in the driver's seat. The 200, I think that Aaron and Audrey, they've kind of had a stranglehold on that for a while, along with Brendan when he's in shape. But Aaron and Audrey are usually going back and forth as far as who wins the national championship in the 200. And it's a much different type of running, which they've proven to be capable in. So in the 200, I expect them to be in contention to get the championship there. He's going to have a much more difficult time in the 200.
So is he beating them in the 100? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'd be very surprised if they beat him in the 100, the way it is right now. If we're going to go off of what they've run so far, we'd have to logically think that he's in the driver's seat, and he's from what
Aaron,
he's
you're gonna let him
been
talk like
saying.
that on your show? You're gonna let him talk like that on your show?
Hey, go ahead. He's the guest, so I'll be nice.
It's not about being nice, Aaron. Be a professional, Aaron.
You know how I feel. I love nationals, and I'll just say this. I don't want to cut you off, but I do have 12 of them things, and Jerome has.
You have 12 of them. You have 12 of them. You do.
Yeah, I know what it takes to win. I'll just put that out there.
You definitely do.
There's been people that have been hot in the past.
I'm just saying logically, the way things are.
Yeah, put your logic. We'll see how much that logic helps on the line.
Even if you talk to Jerome, he just seems like he's been healthy.
Okay.
You talk to, not saying any names, but when you talk to some people, they've been dealing with some things, and it's just not, the road hasn't been as smooth. So taking that into account,
okay.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very difficult to beat Jerome. It's going to be very hard to beat Jerome. But I do know you have the pedigree. I know you won. And the thing is, this is going to be a big test for him because I want to know how he handles coming in being the guy. You know what I'm saying? And also, when you lose to people for an extended period of time, he loses to Aaron and Audrey a lot, right? Mm-hmm. It's not always easy to break through. He's used to being behind these guys, right? So if he's able to still win and overcome that, then I think that bodes well for how he'll do at the championships, because I think that that's going to be a mental breakthrough that he's never been able to surpass up to this point.
That I agree with a lot. It's never been a talent issue with Jerome. It's always been, can he execute and be Jerome that we need him to be on the day? And he's never had an issue with that in the relay. So that's why he's always a monster on that backstretch. But in terms of the open events, that remains to be seen. And we're gonna put that to the test in nationals. And I wish them the best. But obviously I'm rooting for myself. And another argument for another day.
Yeah.
On the women's side, though, we have had two women who have been cooking this year. First, we had Sade McCreath, who went 10.96 and tied the Canadian record. And then Audrey Leduc said, I don't like to share. Give me my record back. Snatched that back in Edmonton and ran a little bit faster. Both of them going into nationals. Looks very good. It's going to be competitive. It hasn't really been competitive in a long time that I've seen in the women's 100. What do you make of the Canadians running some fast times this year?
I think that Audrey being in Ottawa and being fairly close to where she's from, I think she's going to have the crowd on her side at nationals. Yep. And I think that she has momentum. I think Canada's starting to get to know who she is. She's not a medalist yet, but there's promise. And if you run 10 seconds, you're in some conversations. We haven't had many 10-second sprinters on the women's side for a while. So I think that momentum-wise and favoritism-wise, she's going to have a lot of backing, especially with being in Ottawa. Yeah. She's going to be close to home. I think that Audrey is, may have, we don't know if she's become complacent. It's been pretty easy for her.
How? She just took the record back. She lowered her record.
Yeah, she just snatched that back.
No, I'm talking about over the past few years, past couple years.
But it doesn't apply. She just ran fast. She just ran her fastest ever in her life. That's not complacency. She just ran her
fastest ever, but she was standing alone at 10 seconds. She's not standing alone at 10 seconds
Yeah,
anymore,
but she snatched it back a couple weeks later from McCreath. She's standing alone now.
She snatched it back, but Perdita, lining up with someone is different than just running a time.
Yeah.
Right. They weren't in the same race, just so I know. They weren't in the same race when she ran that. Right. Now, I'm sure you know some people where they might have ran faster than you, but you're like, okay, when we race, they're not beating me, though.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that.
They have that, but they're not going to beat me, though. I think that Audrey...
Okay.
In general, may become complacent and just feel like, okay, but she's not going to beat me. So it's another situation similar to Jerome. Like, you got to prove to people that I'm better than you now, or I can beat you now. Usually when you beat people a lot, you don't even think about them.
Audrey got that dog in her, though. She's quiet.
It's that sprinter ego.
Yeah, it's kind of like certain people you beat up all the time. It's like, even if no matter what they run. Yeah, they ran that, but
Okay, all right. You know what? I want to ask you something about Marco O'Rourke, because I know you are over in Europe. You get to see a lot of these races, like up close and personally. But on the Grand Slam circuit, he's been running a lot of 1,500 meters. And for me in Monaco, I thought he was playing with maybe strategy for the 1,500. Anyways, at Canadian trials, he's running both events. Does that make you nervous? Are you curious about that? What do you make of that approach?
I think that it's a good opportunity to train and put on a showcase. He doesn't care how he does in the 1,500. To me, if he is favored in the 15, it's just a showcase. When you get so much adulation from the fans, you want to be on the track as much as possible. So yeah, I'll run the 800, get some love. I'll run the 1,500, get more love, and why not? Might as well.
Yeah, he gets to run twice. You're right. He gets to run the. Okay, so I want to, please, both of you, let's be gentle with this next topic, okay? Because the last time I brought it up, when I went to WhatsApp Donovan Bailey, my friend, he's ghosted me. I've not heard from him. So just be careful how you answer this, because people... Listen. So the very first episode, we talked about the 1996 Atlanta 4x1 men's gold medal versus the 2024 Canadian men becoming the Olympic champions in Paris. Okay? There was a big raging debate about which team is the greatest, is superior, okay? Now, we asked Donovan Bailey to come on the show to debate Aaron about which one is the best and the greatest, because Aaron says it's them. I know what DB's going to say, and I said, DB, do you want to come on? I've not heard from my friend since, and I'm very sad about it, okay? So I might shut my mouth.
Aaron, I don't know if you want to do that conversation with Donovan.
Why not?
Well, even if you won the debate, I think that he would take it personally.
Really?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
It's talking about the team, though. It's not just
talking about the team, but it's in general. I think that it's funny. Them guys really cared about the relay, and I think that
we do
Donovan,
too.
But
I
exactly,
know.
they do
So
too.
that's why I'm saying he would take it just as personal as you saying you would beat him in the 100.
No,
Matter
I
of fact, I
actually,
think he'd probably bring the 100 up. He'd be
I
like,
think
"Reggie,
Donovan's like,
I
I'm
know.
beneath this. I don't need to debate
be
this.
like, look,
I am the
man,
best.
look, man. If we lined up at that 100, though, I would deal with you. I don't care
Yeah.
what else you have to say. Say
Do you know
whatever
how many
want about me,
millions he
man.
said it would take for him to like either come
Yeah,
out of
he's at, like,
retirement?
40 million or something like
Yeah, like it's
Come out of
crazy
retirement
money.
to what? To run?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, to like go against them,
Do
like
we really
that
want to
team
see
versus
Donovan
this
right
team.
now?
Of course we would.
We don't.
Let's
No,
stay
we
on
don't.
track, gentlemen. Didn't I give you guys the preamble not
you
to
ain't
do
trying to see
this?
Donovan squeeze up in a bodysuit right
Sin,
now.
stop
Yeah, but
or
this.
Glenn Roy.
I
Or
feel
Glenn
like
Roy.
If you have to
or-
bring up the 100, then you're losing the argument.
That's a fair point.
So you can't
Can I
stand
ask
on
my
I still think
question?
he
being
would.
better.
I still think he would.
Lord.
Okay, now as far as
Anson?
what I think,
Yeah, but can I ask you the question? Which team is
Sure.
superior, 1996 or 2024? Now you can talk.
it's layered. It's layered, right? Now, I think for them to go into Atlanta and win against the Americans
At
and
home,
set the
in
Canadian
their
record
turf.
like that on their turf is big. Okay. So I put them in the driver's seat right now because to be able to do that under those type of circumstances and to run that type of time is big. I don't want to bring all the technology and all that stuff.
But the
whatever.
2022 team
Just-
did that
we're
in
just going off the
Eugene.
moment. They did it in Eugene, but it wasn't the Olympics. It wasn't the Olympics. Now, if this team is able to stay
teams.
together, if this team is able to stay together till LA, and they do it in LA, and set the Canadian record in LA on LA turf and beat the Americans, then it would be a discussion as far as who is quote unquote superior. I'm not a type
It'd
of
be
man.
a discussion.
Who did you
Uh,
pick?
it-
If we went back to back, it'd be a discussion.
No, but you have to understand to be able to do that in that time,
Yeah.
and it's not even like the
So
Americans
they're
didn't mess up when
second.
they beat them.
They're second, is what you're
They-
saying.
they-
They're second. They're the superior team. Or I want to hear you say it from your own mouth.
Yeah, I would say that they're superior. If you want to be that contrite, I would say that they're superior. If we were to just put them on the same track, everyone wear
Yep.
the same shoes, everyone have the same surface,
Same bodysuit.
I think, everything. I don't see how the team today would win, but
Oh.
the crucial leg,
Yeah.
believe it or not,
Is
I think every leg would be even until the third leg. I think
Who's
it would
who?
be
Rodney
with
versus
Brendan and Bruni.
Yeah. That's the
and-
difference maker for you.
That's the difference maker. It would come down to that, and I would.
So
I would,
Bruni's walking down Brendan, and Brendan was here the first episode, and he's the one who said we're the better team. He was the first one to say that.
But yeah,
Wow.
Brendan's gonna say that.
He's
Brendan's
gonna
say
at
that.
you.
He's
He's
on
gonna
the
at
team.
you on Instagram. You're gonna get it.
No, I'm just saying that's where that's the leg that would be crucial, and
Okay.
whoever gets the baton first on the anchor leg is not getting caught. Like if Donovan gets the baton first, Andre's not catching him. If Andre gets the baton first, Donovan's not catching him.
Right.
So it's about the first three legs. I see it even until that third leg, and
Can I just
that's
say
where it
this?
becomes tricky.
Aaron, do you want to
That's
say
where it becomes
anything
tricky.
before I say something quickly? Do you want to?
I'll just say real quick. We've been
You're
down
dealing with
before.
Esme on first leg. You deal with Esme on first leg. You're gonna murder Esme on first leg. Blast off Esme. Blast off Esme. You're damaging him on first leg.
Yes, that's a great nickname, but yes, yes, absolutely.
Makes a great tat.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I've
That
gone-
was you with
I've
deadly
gone
first leg,
toe-to-toe-
dog.
Okay, I've gone toe to toe with Christian Coleman on first leg. So what
You
what
have,
what
but
are you
I'm
telling
saying-
me?
true.
I think
That's true.
Christian would have his hands full with blast off Esme.
Okay. I'm not underrating him.
Not Robert Esme
Shout out-
though. Blast
hey,
off Esme. That's
shout-
Atlanta Esme.
Yes,
He's a different
yes.
man.
Yes,
and we've
yes,
seen
I
it.
know. Same with Glenroy. He was a different man on the relay, but so is
Different
Jerome.
man.
But so is Jerome.
Yeah.
But I would just say this. I figured you would go with the 90s because you're a nostalgia guy. And I mean, like me and you go back and forth about MJ versus LeBron all the time. And you go with MJ because of the nostalgia, the Space Jam,
No,
the,
I go
the
with
shoes,
MJ. I go with
the,
MJ
the
because he's
moments
better.
and stuff.
I go with MJ because he's better.
Your reasoning for the choosing
Because he's
the
better.
your reasoning for choosing the Atlanta team
Aaron.
over us is because of the moment. And I'm sure you watched that live and that probably made you feel a certain way.
Aaron.
And that it sticks with you when you're young. It's an
Donovan-
infinite brain.
I'm sure Donovan has a lot of problems.
It had an imprint on you when you were young, so that's probably why you're going with that. But you line us up. man.
Donovan has a lot of problems with a lot of things I say. Just
Uh-huh.
fine. But this,
Okay.
I just say what I think. And this is just,
Okay.
it's just what I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Right now,
Okay.
you seem offended.
No,
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 it's
no.
fine. Hey, it's cool. It's cool.
Professionals
It's cool.
here.
It's
We're
cool.
a CBC.
It's cool.
It's too professional.
It's cool. I respect my legends. They paved the way for us. So if you want to pick them, that's cool. That's
okay.
Cool. No beef.
Anson Henry, our fellow Canadian Olympic runner. Thank you for your time. And this is very contentious. Both of you should go to therapy with each other to like get all your stuff sorted.
No, Aaron needs to go to therapy.
Okay.
Aaron, go to therapy,
Bye,
please.
friend.
All right. Get out of here, bro.
Respect.
Established stars and emerging talents collide at the National Championships for a place in Tokyo. 5 days of electrifying athletics begins July 30th at the Terry Fox Stadium in the nation's capital. From the distance queens and kings like Marco Rope to the hammer throw powerhouse duo Cameron Rogers and Ethan Katzberg. But if your need is for speed, there's of course Audrey Leduc, Sade McCreath, Andre DeGrasse, and our boy Aaron Brown to bring the heat. It is time to switch gears. It is time to talk Aaron Brown about the U.S. Championships. This meet is so damn dramatic, okay? It is, I used to say when I used to race, I am so glad I'm Canadian, okay? I'm so glad I'm over here and not there because they have to like duke it out. I don't know about you. That's
For
how
multiple reasons. Try to be a Canadian.
Very true. Noah Lyles, in particular, is in a unique position. So he's the reigning world champion in the 1 and the 2. So he gets a lane in Tokyo in both events. At the U.S. trials, he's entered in both the 1 and the 2, but likely only running the 200. He's kind of said like that's too many rounds in 4 days, too many rounds in his legs in 4 days. But how do you feel about him being the 4-time national champion at 200 meters? He said he doesn't believe in giving up titles. He said, I earned that title. Somebody's got to take it from me if they want it. So, AB, are you in or out on Noah's mentality of defending his title, despite the fact that he doesn't really need to be there? He doesn't need to be doing all that. I mean, he has to show fitness and stuff, but you know what I mean? He's good.
Yeah, so I actually love this mentality. So I am in. Noah Lyles is many things, and he might rub some people the wrong way. Maybe a lot of people, especially WNBA or NBA Twitter. But in this case, I love it. You know, you're a competitor, and you don't want to just give somebody that competitive edge of saying, I'm the American champion. He's like, no. That's my title, and I'm not going to let you just skate in and get it scot-free. And a lot of people who have the bye might just take it as an opportunity to rest, to say, let me not risk it. Let me save face. But he's like, no, let me mix it up. Let me get some more races. He hasn't raced a lot this year. Let me get sharp. And if you want this title, come and get it out of my cold, dead hands. So I love it. And I wish we had more of that competitive mentality permeating through the track and field world in this generation.
Yeah, that's so true. I do think also it's his sentiment for sure, but I think what you just said is key. He hasn't raced a lot. So why wouldn't he go into that hotbed and try and get race sharp, right? So, and you're right. Do you want to be the 200 champion if Noah Lyles is not there? Is there an asterisk beside that? You make a good point.
Yeah, come earn it. Right. Speaking of someone who has always earned it and loves to mix it up, she's a world record holder and someone that we're always checking for. American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, a 2-time Olympic champion, has broken the world record 6 times in the 400-meter hurdles, but now she's moving on to the flat 400, where she's the second fastest American woman in history at a time of 48.74, and the 6th fastest in the world this year at 49.43. That actually has her as the 4th fastest American going into trials. Pretty impressive stats for an event she rarely runs. So Perdita, are you in or out on Sydney mixing things up and going for that team in the 400-meter flat?
I am all the way in, and you know I'm in. Listen, I think this is me just, I talk off the cuff. She's bored, man. Like, she's done. What else is she going to prove to us in the 400-meter hurdles? Bob Kersey is bored, okay? He's been training her. Like, they need a new challenge, a challenge. They need something else to do. I also believe, and this was something that someone had said to me through the grapevine like a while ago, she wants to take down Sanya Richard Ross's American record. I think it's 48.70. She's 48.74. She's knocking on the door. She wants to do that. So here's the other thing too. If I'm Femke Bol, if I'm Dalilah Muhammad, and I'm going to the world, wanting to be at the World Championships, I'm just, right? Like, your potential medal is respectfully, because you can only race who's there, but it's a little easier. It's not going through, the Olympic champion 2 times. It's not going through the world record holder how many times. Like, I love it for me. I love it for them. Now, back to the 400 meters. Maybe the American record isn't her goal. Could it be the world record overall? I mean, this thing is ancient. It's really old. So I like it. I think mentally she wants a new challenge. This is where she needs to go. And I think she knows she can get the American record, but she has to be in a really hot situation to do it. And so I actually think it's going to go down this year. And it's from 2006.
I love it so much just because we're going to finally get to see Sydney versus Marilady Paulino and Nasser, and we're going to see who's actually the baddest in the 400-meter flat. And wouldn't it be poetic if in the last year of your career, Dalilah Muhammad goes out and wins another title? I'm just saying.
I love what you're saying. I love everything that you're saying. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Wait, you think Sydney can beat those girls in the 400 meters? Is that what you're saying? I know this is in and out and not predictions, but what are you saying, friend?
Yeah. My pick is Paulino. I got all the respect for her, and I think that a lot of people have attributed the gold to Sydney because she's so dominant and such a GOAT-type athlete that they just say, yeah, she could do anything. She can drop down to the 4 or win that easily. She could drop down to the 2 and win that. She can walk on water and this and that. And yes, Sydney is that girl. But let's put some respect on Marilady Paulino. She did run 48-17 to win the Olympic title last year, and I definitely have her picked to win in Tokyo.
That's true. Can I just say, though, in Sydney's defense, not that I'm saying that your pick is not great, but she hasn't really got that race patterning down yet. She's still stuck in that 400-meter hurdle rhythm. I do feel like if she gets that 400-meter rhythm and times it properly, she's dangerous. She's dangerous. So, Marilady, girl, watch your back, girl. Yeah. But anyways, next case.
Well, she's a GOAT. And let's see how she responds. It's definitely, I got my popcorn ready.
Fair. We might put a wager on that, put a coffee on that. I'm a flat white girl, as we tell you off camera. Reigning 100-meter world champion Sha'Carri Richardson has struggled with consistency this season after suffering an injury that delayed the start of her season. This was back in February. She has yet to go sub 11 seconds this season and finished last in the 100 meters at Pre just a few weeks ago. AB, she's automatically in the 100 meters in Tokyo because she's the world champion, but she still needs to qualify for the 2. And if you remember a few weeks ago, our friend was on here. Ado Bolden came on. We got so many views because of Ado, okay? And us too, but Ado was on the show. Anyway, Sha'Carri needs to have a better start is what Ado said to be competitive in Tokyo. So AB, are you in or are you out on the urgency around Sha'Carri's performance as trials? Or do you think there is still time?
And it sounded like he didn't even have her on the podium at all. Maybe not even making the finals. Like, he was all the way out on Sha'Carri.
Yeah, he was.
I am definitely not going that far. And I still give her a chance to mix it up with the best women in the world because she's such a generational talent. And when she finds her rhythm, she can mix it up with the best. And she's shown that in the past. Yes, she can be a little volatile sometimes with the performances, and you never know what you're going to get. But when she's locked in and focused, when she puts in that work, when she's not injured, she has the talent to do whatever she wants. And I definitely feel like this is the meet to show, yes, I still can turn this season around and mix it up with the top women in the world. It has been Melissa Jefferson Wooden's season, especially dominating, beating 2 Olympic champions in their own field from last year, Julian Alfred in the 100 and then Gabby Thomas in the 2. So Melissa Jefferson Wooden is that girl right now. And she's also my training partner, so she's going to be that woman going into Tokyo. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I'm not counting on Sha'Carri either. And I think if she comes into trials, puts down a good performance, gets down into the 10.8 lows, maybe even dips into the 10.7s once again, we're cooking with grease or oil or whatever
whatever
the saying is. Fire.
Something.
Yeah, we got something cooking up. That's all I'm trying to say.
With avocado oil.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No seed oils. We're trying to be healthy in 2025.
No coconut oil either because it has a lot of
beef tallow. We're cooking with beef tallow.
There we go. Let me say this as an aside. If you were my training partner and you were my friend, what you just said would just good. Yes. I don't disagree with you at all. I think Sha'Carri is such a generational talent that she still has time to turn this around, but she has to turn it around soon. When someone's in your same training camp, I think sometimes that could be hard. I know my biggest rivals weren't all, well, they were, but not all of them breathing down my neck in practice. You got to see them, you got to interact. So I think that might be difficult, just, me thinking, but there is time. And again, she has a lane. So she can just train through it and do what she needs to do. So we'll have to see what happens there.
And I'll add this real quick. Sometimes when you have the person who's the it moment girl, in your training partner, and you get to measure her and see how she's running,
True.
you kind of get a sense, okay, this is what I got to do. This is how I have to form my race pattern to be competitive with her. And then you
Yes.
slowly start to gain confidence as you can work on it every day in
That's true.
training. Because if she beats you, hey, you already beat me in the race. It is what
Yep.
it is. But if I get close and closer and
Mm.
closer, now you start to build confidence, and you don't have to wait till the race to do that.
That's
You know,
true.
like she's not going to see Julian on a day in, day out
Yep.
basis. She's probably only going to see her at the championships, but she's got Melissa to track, and iron sharpens iron. So watch out
Yeah.
for Sha'Carri. That's
And
all
you
I'm going to
see,
say.
you see where you stack up. I feel like you just told us something. I feel like you're just telling us a little something without telling us. You got a front row seat, friend. That's all I'm saying. So okay, good to know.
Just get your television sets ready
Ooh.
and just watch the show. That's all I'm
I,
gonna say.
I believe you, Melissa and Sha'Carri. They're ready. That's what you. And listen, I'm gonna leave it there. All right, we got to keep this U.S. trials conversation going, and we have brought in basically an encyclopedia of everything track and field to help us. His name is Anderson Emerole of The Final Leg on YouTube. Welcome to Trackside. We love your show, and we're so glad you made time for ours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all have been crushing it. Like huge fans. Y'all have been taking over, I feel like, the track and field game. So shout out to both of y'all.
Appreciate it. We're starting off the interview great, and I want to say likewise. You know, I always check out for your channel unless I'm about to run because I don't want to see any predictions. But you know, I've always admired your content. You're very analytical and thoughtful, and not just throwing out hot takes just for the sake of it. But let's get into trials in the U.S. You know, I got my eye on that 800 meters. Honestly. Most people would expect me to just focus on the sprints, but that 800, man, they got 14 people who have run sub 145 this year. Do you think that's going to be one of the best races of the championships?
I think undoubtedly, like this is the year of the 800 across around the world, but like even more specifically in the United States, where you have Bryce Hoppel and Josh Hoey kind of leading the game as maybe like I would say the two favorites. You know, they've both run 142. Bryce Hoppel, of course, coming off the fourth place at the Olympics. I think those two are probably the leaders. I'd be surprised if they didn't make the team, but then behind that, you have a whole host of just so many different guys, right? Donovan Brazier is making a comeback. He's coming off his first Diamond League in years after injury, and he's in the conversation. I mean, you have Brandon Miller, made the Olympic team last year, and he's right in the conversation. Shane Cohen, you have a bunch of guys who are really in the hunt for a spot to this World Championship team. But I'd say Josh Hoey, Bryce Hoppel, those are the two I'm looking at. And then, I don't know, flip a coin and you could see who makes that third spot.
I love that. Flip a coin. They're going to have to do that. They really are. Let's talk quickly about the women's version of the 800 meters. Does Athing-Mu Nikolayev make it onto this team? I got to say, as a fan of her, a fan of the event, I'm a little worried about where she's at.
Yeah, and it's like she's one of my favorite athletes over the past couple years, just because of the way that she runs, her consistency and dominance. But this year, it's been a little tricky. I know she hasn't raced as much, and coming off of what happened last year, where she got tripped up at the Olympic trials, I think there's been some question marks on how she is performing now. Her last race, she did run too flat, but the thing that I think about with Athing-Mu is like, she's the American record holder for a reason. She's run 154. And I don't think anyone is able to go with her if she actually does tap into that. Now, the question is, will she be able to do it? Not 100% sure, but I know all of us will have our eye on her to see what she actually is able to do.
Absolutely. So we did get some earth-shattering news recently when the Olympic champion Quincy Hall pulled out, assumably with injury. So he won't be in the field. That leaves the 400 meters on the men's side pretty wide open. Do you think last year's breakout teen star and this year running even better, Quincy Wilson, another Quincy, has a chance to go ahead and make the individual team and not just be a relay guy this year?
Absolutely. He has the shot to. Now, different question on if he actually will. But even when you say like he's a breakout star, it's like I feel like every year he keeps breaking out and it's incredible. It's crazy, right? I mean, he's already run 44.1, which puts him right, like he's almost on the cusp of sub 44. And even with Quincy Hall out, I think the field is just that much more competitive, where now we're focusing in on Quincy Wilson, who's going to be mixing it up with guys like Chris Robinson or Ja'Cory Patterson or Bryce Steadman, all guys who have been, really strong contenders. I think Quincy Wilson has a shot, but it's really tough to say. The one thing I will say about Quincy, though, is I feel like he's running with nothing to lose, right? Like
Yeah.
he's not one of these professional athletes where he's out there, with a contract or whatever. Like he's going to school again, right? In the fall. So everyone else, this is like their big shot. Quincy Wilson with nothing to lose, that might make him more dangerous relative to even previous years.
You're right. He has to study for calculus exams and physics and all that kind
Right?
of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You got to do stuff. So I get some slack, okay, for being the co-host of this show. And I never talk about the 100-meter hurdles. We are going to change that right now because I'm going to throw you a 100-meter hurdles question. So the top 3 women in the world right now are all American. Of course, Messiah Russell, Olympic champion, Tia Jones, who I believe is injured, and then also Grace Starks. And then Alicia Johnson, I think she's like top 7, 7th in the world. She just put down a 12.3. This is such a hard event to talk about because anything can happen, as I know. But for you, how do you see that event? To me, it's kind of wide open still.
It is still wide open. I think there's been some different things that have occurred throughout the year where Masai Russell, of course, got the American record earlier, but she got an injury. So she's been dealing with some setbacks. She'll be there, and I think she's going to be in that conversation. But then you have Grace Stark, who I think Grace has maybe been more consistent. If I was to pick one person, she's probably been the most consistent across the board in totality. But then, like you said, you have Alicia Johnson. You have even Aaliyah Armstrong. People forget Aaliyah Armstrong made the world championship team in 2022 and finished 4th place in that final. She's someone who's kind of like having another resurgence right now. It really is. I don't know. I'm like hopping out here. I don't know if I can like say someone's like really like I'm not picking a team, but I'd say maybe Grace Stark is the most consistent. But again, it's wide open.
It's the
Well, I'm just going to throw out
anything can
another name out there too is Tania Marshall, who's my training partner. So I'm obviously biased and I'm going to be pulling for her, but alas,
Respect.
the point remains that the field is very competitive. And also on the men's side, that's going to be equally as competitive. And we have no idea what's going to happen. Grant Holloway, he has the bye. Who knows if he's going to run all the way through. But after that, who knows what the team will look like. There's about 4 to 6 guys who could all vie for those 3 spots. What's your prediction with that? Guys like Trey Cunningham and the kid from college, Thorpe, and Tinch. It's just crazy. Freddie Crittenton. It's who do you got, man?
Dude, I don't know what's up with these hurdles. From the women to the men, it's just like everyone is just out here running so frequently and just making it hard for us who have to like analyze this stuff. It's ridiculous. But here, Trey Cunningham looks very, very good. I mean, speaking of Grant, who has a wild card, he's the only guy to beat Grant Holloway this year, early in the season, but he's been very consistent. He's run 13 flat a couple times this year. I'd say he's, again, maybe the most consistent, but then Cordell Tinch has run 12.87. Like, he's literally number 4 in history. It's like, how can you say he's not going to, pop something off like that? So he's been good. And then shout out to Dylan Beard. Dylan Beard has had a very, very good season. He's coming off a few personal bests this year. He's been like on a run and everything. So it's, again, this is
Daniel Roberts too.
Didn't even say
Olympic silver medalist.
Olympic silver. Like, how are we going to keep him out? Even Freddie Crittenton, he was 6th place at the Olympics. It's like there's so many guys who can really show up, and I love the fact that it is so competitive, and we don't even know exactly what's going to happen. It just makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
This is why we watch. So we're going to end with this, and I love watching the final leg because Aaron said it well, that you have your predictions and you back them up with facts and interesting details. You're not just going off of emotion or just to, put something out there. So I want to ask you, let's start with the women. Who is making this team in the 100 and the 200? No cop-outs. You're putting it out there right now, Anderson. I know we're doing this to you. This is so mean. Feet to the fire. This is so mean of us. But I'm going to ask you, who's making the team in the 1 and the 2? And we're doing women. Let's start with the women's 1.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
This is wild because like I wanted to wait until like next week or something, like a day before or something like to make. But if I had to pick the one, I think we can all agree Melissa Jefferson Wooden, she is to me the clear favorite. She might mess around and win the gold medal at the World Championships. She's already done her thing, run 10.7 a couple times. She's beat the Olympic champion. That is a foregone conclusion. After that, I think Jaysa Sears is probably the most consistent American in recent weeks. She ran 10.8 at the Prefontaine Classic. It was in a different heat than Melissa did, but I like her consistency this year. And she went to the Monaco Diamond League and finished behind Julian. So I like her on the team as well. This for me is where it gets so tricky. I'm gonna hurt somebody. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with 20 Sha'Carri. I'm gonna pick. Yeah, I know
TT
Aaron's gonna
Terry.
be happy about it because yes, the thing about TT is even though she's run 10.85 this year, she hasn't had as much consistency, but she knows what to do when it comes to USA's. Last year, she wasn't doing well. I don't even think people were looking at her throughout the season. She came up to the Olympic trials and made that team.
That's
She's
right.
made the team in 2022. She's I think one of the more experienced athletes and has that kind of race IQ that she's going to show up here. Again, it hurts me because I'm leaving out like Aaliyah
Yes.
Hobbs or Tamari Davis. It's like, but Melissa, Jasis, TT, that's who I'm going with.
Okay, and the 2.
Oh, man, I was hoping you forgot. So I was trying to let it go.
I know
All
you
right,
did.
200. Similar situation. I feel it's a little closer, but Gabby Thomas, I think she's the class of the field. We know that the USA's or Olympic trials, whatever it is for the United States, she's going to show up and she's thinking about, I want to get a gold medal at World Champs, even more so than, of course, getting this win at USA. So Gabby Thomas, I think, is consistent. I'm going to put Mackenzie Long in this conversation.
Yes.
She made the Olympic team last year, and she's already run sub 22 seconds. She had a slower start to the season, but she's progressively gotten better. So I like where she is at, and I feel like that Olympic experience is going to help her. Then this is, again, where it gets very tricky. I'm teetering between Melissa Jefferson Wooden and Navia Battle. And Navia has been crushing it on the Diamond League all year.
Mhm.
But I'm going to put Melissa in that third, which is crazy. Now, I don't know if it's crazy, but she beat out Gabby Thomas.
She beat Gabby. Yeah.
Yeah, she beat out Gabby. She's run sub 22 seconds. So, and I feel like her confidence level is on 10,000 right now. She is like, I am ready to just go to USA's, execute, deliver, and then get my spot for the World Championships.
Yeah, and I
So.
think her job would be easier. She's made the 100 team first, right? Then you just kind of are more
yeah.
chill to make that second team. So I think you got it right.
Yeah, I know I'm making you happy, Aaron. I got Melissa on and TT, so hey.
I like it. I like it.
All right, let's start with the men's 200 meters.
Oh man! All right, we're just going right into it. This is
You watch the show, you know how we do.
Yeah, we get right to it. But you can amend your picks on your show. But we need something for ours.
No,
I like it.
he lock it in too, like you. What do you mean? No, it stays. And when you do your show next week, we'll be watching.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So men's 200 is what we're looking at now.
Yeah.
All right. So Noah Lyles, luckily, I think this makes it good for the team. Noah Lyles has the wild card, so there's an extra spot
Yes.
for someone to go to the World Championships. I think behind there, to me, it's impossible to say Kenny B is not the front runner to solidify a spot for this team. I think, we'll talk about the 100 in a second. Coming off the 100, it might be a more confident. He might be very confident to get this 200. And I think he wants to continue to assert his dominance that he's been showing through the year. And USA's is a perfect spot for that. So Kenny B, he's on my team.
Yep.
After that, I don't know. I might have to move down to Florida with Star Athletics. I'm putting Courtney Lindsay on that team. Like Courtney is also very consistent this year. Prefontaine Classic, second place to Let's Sile in that 200, and he made the team in 2023. So he has experience going to the World Championships. I like where he's at going into these into USA's. And then the third spot, I don't know if this will be a surprise, but I have Robert Gregory. Now, he hasn't been as, I guess, like widely known over the past couple years, but he had a good race at Prefontaine. He finished pretty well amongst that field, I think fourth place. Also, he went to the Tokyo Continental Tour. He beat out Andre DeGrasse in that race. 2023, he just missed the team. I think he finished fourth or fifth place. So Robert Gregory is someone who I feel like is on the rise this year and is developing some more consistency. But I could be completely wrong. But those are my three: Kenny, Courtney, Robert. I'm sticking with it.
Nice. 10 toes down. Okay, hundreds.
Hundreds. All right. So I'm gonna give you top two for now, and then we'll talk about the third guy. Kenny B, Trayvon Bromell. Those are my two. I feel like they are, in my opinion, far and above the rest of the guys when talking about the 100-meter field for the United States. They've both run 9.8. Kenny 9.86, Trayvon 9.84. And specifically for Kenny, like I said in the two, I feel like he wants to reassert and just prove his dominance and consistency in the 100. I feel like he's been disrespected as a 100-meter guy. Like, people kind of overlook him. He made the Olympic team last year, but it's like, this guy has been running consistent. So Kenny and then Trayvon coming back after multiple years of injury, and he is looking like he is on fire now. He doesn't just want to get on this team. He wants to get on the podium once again. So
Hungry.
Kenny, Trayvon, that's what I'm looking at. Now, Third place, I'm going back and forth a little bit on this, but I'm gonna give this to Brandon Hicklin. I like
Against
Brandon Hicklin.
Who else were you going back and forth with though? Who else?
I'm going back and forth with Fred Curley because Fred Curley is one who may not even have a great season, but he will show up at USA's. He'll show up at Worlds or Olympics. Like he knows how to show up when it matters. But I feel like Brandon Hicklin is on another level of confidence this year. He's run sub 10 a couple times. People were paying attention to Kashane Thompson, Zarnell, and Trayvon, but at the Prefontaine Classic, Brandon was right behind. He was right behind. He's beat out a few of the other Americans. I feel like this is the year that Brandon, and he was at Grand Slam track in Miami and on a kind of last minute call, and he got placed in the field. He did very well there. I gotta go with Brandon. Brandon Hicklin is my third spot, but I could be wrong. Fred Curley is dangerous, man. He's dangerous. So that's my team though.
You're never going to be wrong picking Star Athletics.
I feel like people are going to think that, y'all brought me in for a reason today.
Did Aaron pay you off to say that about all his teammates? That's what they're going to say.
Hey. I'll say this. I have a lot of similar takes to you in terms of your picks. So you're onto something. Great minds think alike, something along those lines. But I'll say it's very tough to pick people in this business and be a podcaster and put out takes and stand on it. But when you back it up with facts, how can they really argue? So that's why I always appreciate your takes and masterclass again. So I appreciate that.
That's what it is. Got to stand on it.
Remember the final leg. I was asking you what leg, the 4x4, the 4x1, all the legs. Anderson, thank you.
All the legs. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Tracktown in Eugene, Oregon will be festive over the next few days as Hayward Field welcomes America's top athletes from July 31st to August 3rd. The prize is a spot on Team USA to Tokyo World Championships in September. AB, you'll be there. It's going to be incredible. So I hope this 11th episode was well worth the wait. I felt like we packed so much stuff into this episode, but it was worth the wait.
It was. We came back off a hiatus and we had to come with a bang, We've got trials coming up and we got to bring the fire to match the energy of trial season. Anticipate what we're going to see and match that energy. So I think we did a pretty good job and I'm looking forward to episode 12.
Yeah, I am too. So good luck at Canadian trials.
Thank you.
We will see you on the other side. We're back on August 7th. So you won't see us this week. You'll see us next Thursday. YouTube, obviously, 10 a.m. I want to say thank you. This was a bit of therapy. We had Anson on so the two of you could deal with your differences. Hopefully you can do that offline as well. It was an incredible show, everybody. Thank you for watching.
It was. Set your calendars and we'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.